Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another great episode of the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. We are blessed to have Al Hensling with us today. Al, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, it's our honor. Number 25 on the Scotsman's Guide this year for production. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
I've had a long career in the mortgage industry and still have the opportunity to post some significant numbers in the marketplace.
Well, it's fantastic, especially in today's market. So you're located in Orange County, California, beautiful market, but comes with its own challenges. So how are you approaching your business? How are you generating that type of volume?
Well, most of my business is built on referrals.
Yeah.
As I looked at this business when I first got started, and I wanted to establish it as an annuity. And one of the biggest challenges and one of the biggest mistakes that loan originators make is that they work and look at it as a transactional business. And
Yep.
it's not a transactional business, it's a relationship business. And developing those relationships over the course of time and building those referral partners is the key to longevity in the business and, of course, success in it.
100%. And so do you find now in your business, do you get more referrals from your past customer database, or are you still getting the majority of your referrals from referral partners?
So a combination of the two, because and I had to be very disciplined in the fact that a lot of people say, well, gee, if I can just get to a critical mass of X number of referral partners, then I'm done.
Yep.
So you constantly have to continue to go out and originate and establish new relationships because there's a degree of attrition that you're going to have. And it can be that they've either aged out of the marketplace, your referral partner, they decide to choose a new career path. It could be any number of things. So you constantly have to be out there establishing new relationships. But most importantly is really to continue to go and build on the relationship that you have with your existing referral partner. So it's don't forget about them. Just like a lot of times, it's human nature. Oh my gosh, they're always going to use me. Okay,
Right.
well, they're not always going to use you. Okay, somebody's knocking on their door.
Yep.
Something will happen in a transaction that may not be the fault of the originator, and it's creates a chink in the armor. And if somebody's there knocking on the door, they've got an opportunity to maybe take a look at what your client is doing.
Yep. And so, do you have a process in place for maintaining existing relationships? Do you do a monthly lunch, or is there something that you do, or is it just natural relationship building for you?
Well, it's really I'm very fortunate in the fact that the majority of my clients have also become very good friends.
Right.
Okay, they're within my sphere of influence. So what I always really spend a tremendous amount of time. It's like I do a minimum of 4 lunch appointments a week.
Oh,
So
wow.
no matter what my schedule is, I am going out to lunch with clients 4 days a week or
That's
some form of an event with them.
wow. So that's clients, not referral partners.
Well, when I'm referring to clients, I'm talking about my referral partners.
Beautiful. Okay. Great.
So, and then within a lot of my social component of my life, the majority of those referral partners are included in that.
Right.
We host large events. I've got a facility that we built, which is an event center, which is essentially my man cave. Okay, so it worked out tremendously. So we have this really nice event center that's quite large, houses a motorcycle and automobile collection. So it
Wow.
gives them an opportunity to have meetings and have exposure to a different type of environment. So
Yes.
we use that to market not only myself but also our company, and we're recognized. Everybody knows about the man cave, and so a lot of the local realtors use that to host their meetings because we're able to provide them a venue which we can provide to them and give them a unique experience away from their office.
Yeah.
And we've hosted, any number of training sessions or continuing education. A number of the women's groups or special interest groups, they all have an opportunity to utilize this facility. So it was building something that created a cachet that was unique.
That is so cool. So they can go in and the motorcycles and the cars are all there, but they've
Oh
also
yeah,
got
they're prominently displayed. It's for short of a better description, it's like a small Leno's garage, on a
that's
small
amazing.
scale. And but everything, the attention to detail in there is just impeccable. It's designed very well. And it didn't start out that way. It was really going to be my family office. And then we hosted a couple of events. Everybody's like, gosh, will you rent this thing out? I go, no, absolutely not. It's not for that. But we used it initially for our own training. But then as individuals saw this, I mean, we've hosted casino nights for, Keller Williams, large offices. So it's really, gotten us a lot of street cred.
That is incredible. So, out of all of the automobiles that you have in your collection, which one is the most special to you and why?
And it's like asking, do you have a favorite kid? So you kind of have to answer, and for me, the collection has been curated over time, and it's all the cars that as a kid I certainly couldn't afford to get or that I wanted, and so it's very eclectic. It ranges from exotics to just run of the mill type of cars.
That's so cool. And I don't want to go too far down the car thing because we want to have value to everybody listening, but this is so interesting. So, do you keep a full-time mechanic that's just there maintaining the automobiles and making sure that everything's ready to
It
go?
actually has a team of individuals that are responsible for the maintenance of the exteriors of the cars as well as the mechanical portion.
Well, that is amazing. Al, congratulations. That is
Yeah.
the coolest networking idea I've heard on the show. So that's pretty cool. Now, you mentioned always keeping the pipeline full, always
Right.
be networking. So do you have a qualified list that you keep that you're continually working to set up new relationships? How do you approach that side of the business?
So I utilize, most of the analytics that are available, the MMIs, to be able to see who's actually producing.
Yep.
Right. One of the things that I identified very early on in my career is that I wanted to work with producers.
Yep.
Okay. Because you can kiss a lot of frogs before you end up with somebody that's actually going to produce. Now, you can look at the analytics and also get a feel if they're on an upward trajectory, but also the other business partners and referral partners that I have. Oftentimes they will introduce me to individuals saying that, if you really want to achieve a good customer client experience, for your buyers, then certainly you need to contact me, and they're referring me. So that, I think that's one of the biggest, endorsements that you can get to help build your business, because word of mouth and reputational integrity is key. And there's that song that the lyrics go that sometimes doing the right thing's the hardest thing, and it oftentimes doing the right thing is the hardest thing to do. But if you do it, it certainly has tremendous benefits and payback.
Yep, I could not agree more. Those little tests that you get of like, um, you know, how bad do you want it, and are you willing to do the right thing to do it? And
Well, and that's what's really interesting, because a lot of times people, the tendency, human nature for individuals is to gauge their success on how smooth a transaction goes.
hmm,
And what's really interesting, and what that I have experienced, is that oftentimes the best referral sources are transactions that you actually had some significant challenges on,
Hmm.
that you were able to incorporate the referring partner in the remediation and the amount of communication,
Hmm.
and then they get to see where your true skill set is.
Right.
So a lot of times loan officers will want to hide from the referral partner that everything is just okie dokie, but then they get to a point that there's some cataclysmic event that is not able to be repaired,
Yep.
or it's going to greatly affect the transaction right at the end. So by involving them initially when the problem comes up, if of course if the originator can't solve it immediately, early detection, early admission that there's a challenge, the collaboration and the ultimate result is a referral partner that understands that you're going to be truthful, you're going to let the client, all parties know what's going on, and you're looking for a collaborative effort to fix whatever the challenge is, because everybody has a vested interest in it.
Yep.
If as a loan officer you're trying to control the transaction, but you're controlling, a realtor's pretty significant amount of income, and if you make a mistake, it doesn't turn out very well.
No, absolutely. Owning that and being early in the communication, I think, are two really solid points.
Yes.
It And so it sounds like you get a lot of your realtor referrals from the realtor referrals that you already have, but do you have an outreach program where you're reaching out cold to somebody, or are you always going by this, that second degree of separation? I know this person who knows this person. I'm going to go through this person to get that conversation.
Yeah, most of what I get is through intel from my business partners.
Yeah.
And then I get to validate it with the MMI to see, you know, we have one thing that we do, we have a lot of relationships with real estate groups.
Okay.
So we, developed, MSAs over the years when those were popular, desk rentals, all of the various things. And of course, when they're trying to pitch you why you need to offer them some degree of support, it's always they've got grandiose numbers. Well, you've got to fact check, because it oftentimes, they may be all on the list side,
Yep.
which, they don't really handle that many buyers transactions. Although with the NAR ruling now, listing agents are kind of prime targets.
Yep.
So we've always targeted listing agents, but buyers agents, of course, from the data are ones that, were the normal target rich environment that everybody tended to go to.
Yep. Absolutely. And do you leverage title relationships as well to find out,
Yes, that was just what I was going to mention. Because the title reps, I mean, they see what is happening out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I maintain a very close relationship with a number of title representatives, and have supported title companies. In the marketplace now, you're seeing a significant change. UWM has been very, very a very big proponent of this attorney opinion letter in lieu of title insurance. And in some states, it makes a lot of sense because the cost savings are quite significant. In California, there's not that disparity. You can
Right.
still get standard title insurance at a value proposition that's very similar to what UWM's offering with their Track and Track Plus program.
Right.
So yes, so we support the title companies and leverage those relationships.
Wow. That's incredibly powerful. So much value in such a short period of time. So, do you also leverage referral relationships outside of real estate? Are you going after financial planning, insurance, those avenues?
Insurance, financial planning, family law attorneys,
Hmm.
uh, forensic accountants. So oftentimes, what seemingly would be one transaction through a divorce, maybe three, okay?
Right.
Or maybe a HELOC to get cash to do a settlement. Then that individual will ultimately sell that, but then the individual receiving the proceeds are looking to purchase a property. So there's tremendous ways to leverage that aspect of it.
So I feel like you're a world-class networker, Al. I can tell
Networking is
relationships.
kind of the name of the game in our business. And
Well, I think you'd be surprised at how few people in our industry really understand the not being transactional and being more relationship focused in the foundation.
no,
And
we're very aware of that because that's why we concentrate on that so much. So my background, I came from a large multinational corporation years ago and had some tremendous sales training. And when I first got into the mortgage industry, it was the wild, wild west. There were no systems. I mean, even as much as the mortgage industry today uh, spouts that, we're so tech savvy, we're not even close,
yeah,
right? I mean, relative to other industries. So I came into the space um, and I just said, gosh, this is just like if you have a basic business acumen, you can develop some systems, build your plan, follow the plan, and all of a sudden there's a degree of success that most individuals could never imagine.
yep, yeah, absolutely. We're not selling pencils. It
Oh, and we're not doing brain surgery.
yeah, also that.
Okay. So, and oftentimes one of the biggest things I have about 150 loan originators that work for me.
Wow.
And one of the biggest um, challenges that I've seen is that a lot of originators just can't get out of their own way
Mm,
because they want to build the perfect model on how a transaction is going to go.
mhm.
Well, the reality is there is no perfect model. You need to, there's a tremendous amount of technology, and back to technology there, there's a tremendous amount of technology that is canned that find the technology that closely resembles what you're trying to accomplish
Mhm.
and run with it.
Yep.
But it's like paralysis by analysis because they're looking to build this perfect model and they're not really looking to do business. So they spend all this time and they wonder why they don't have any degree of success because sitting behind your desk or sitting at home trying to figure out how to make this perfect is not how you're going to go out and get business.
Yep. Yeah, I love the messy. So, okay, technology, that aspect of things.
Mhm.
Are you leveraging technology to work your database and to network with your database and get deals from your database marketing?
Absolutely.
And what does that look like?
So we as a group uh, really jumped onto the AI
Yes.
here. So the menial tasks, the initial chatbot connections that so many of these initial inquiries can be responded to until they raise their hand or we have a signal, a trigger that says, yeah, we really need to engage with this particular individual now. So we really, I believe, built a system that is taking advantage of all of the benefits, and it's going to continue to evolve. I mean, as we saw when the advent of the internet, how things and information, exponentially became available. AI, I think, is warp speed relative to the inception and the utilization of the internet.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And we're still very much in the infancy stage of what artificial intelligence is going to be able to do, especially in our industry. Um,
Exactly.
I, yeah, I think it's absolutely incredible because that there, where I see a hybrid, and this just comes from a lot of what we're doing in the background. Hopefully, this is valuable for you.
Sure.
But we have the conversational aspect of things, which is it's fantastic at
Mhm.
because if it ever comes off the rails, you correct it one time with the prompt, and it never makes the mistake again. It's
Exactly.
this unbelievable ability to have these conversations. But now what we're doing is we're looking at the AI from the processing standpoint,
Uh-huh.
collecting information, putting the documents into the CRM, making sure that the basic things that an underwriter would look at first are looked at before it's passed through to the underwriter. So there's time savings, there's operation savings, there's so many aspects of the mortgage process where the 80% of the work can be elevated off of the person, and they're just there checking the 20%, which makes everything more efficient, more profitable. It's going to be a
Yeah,
great.
well, it's, you know, in the terminology that I always use is look at, we manufacture loans.
Hmm.
Okay. We're a manufacturing company. We build loans. Okay. And you have to look at it in that sense. And if you have, so it's like using robots. Okay. Most automobiles are, for the most part, built by robots at this point. Well, they do that because there is a quality element, there's a speed element, and there's cost efficiency.
Yep.
It's no different than with mortgages. So, and this is where if you are an experienced originator and you take your knowledge base and you teach your AI closed platform or open platform, you know, all of the things that you know, then you have just replicated your ability to touch more people and effectually help them and create efficiencies, which hopefully transcends to additional profits.
Yep. Yeah, I could not agree more. And so being in the infancy, so you have artificial intelligence having conversations with your database
Correct.
and also letting your team know that there's a conversation happening so that they can jump in real time and help with that conversation. Is that right?
Yes, we've even built campaigns that are outreach campaigns that are, you know, chatbot based.
That is amazing. Incredible. Al, that was an exceptionally valuable time. Thank you so much for being on the show. If there's somebody out there listening that wants to get more information about you, how do people reach out to you? What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Best just to email me. It's my name, Al Hensling at uamco.com.
Awesome. And we'll have that in the show notes.
All right.
To all of our wonderful listeners, thank you for listening. Al, thanks again for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you.